Welcome to our talk about MeetingMate. This is work done in the HCI and Visualization group at Autodesk Research with Tovi and George, and I'm Justin Matejka. So we've all been in meetings, and survey data suggests that it's common for people in knowledge-based work environments to spend between 20 and 80% of their time in meetings. And while meetings can be important, they're often considered ineffective by some of the attendees. Part of the reason that meetings can be ineffective is that there is lots of corporate knowledge that is not shared among all participants. When I say corporate knowledge, this is sometimes referred to as meta-knowledge about who knows who and who knows what within an organization. Not knowing these things can make it hard to understand what is going on in a meeting, and this can pose a particular problem for newer or more junior employees. To address this, we started noticing that there was a lot of corporate knowledge just existing around the company. For example, at Autodesk, we found all of this corporate knowledge sitting around on the intranet. For example, we have 13,000 presentations with over 300,000 individual slides. There's all sorts of employee data, such as job titles and headshots. There's many jargon terms and internal acronyms that have been defined. There's project repositories indicating things that people are working on. And there's mailing lists and Slack channels indicating which people are frequently communicating with each other. And so our thought was that if we could give people access to this corporate knowledge when they need it during meetings, maybe they would be able to improve meeting efficiency and increase knowledge sharing. So to attempt to do this, we created MeetingMate. And the idea with MeetingMate is that in a normal meeting room where you connect a laptop to the projector, we would instead stick our presentation capture system in the middle. This presentation capture system would see what was being presented, take a copy of that, and send it to an OCR service to figure out what text was being presented on the screen, and then send that text off to the Ambient assistant server. In parallel, the data collector would be mining the intranet, looking for the most recent copies of the HR data, slide decks, meeting data, GitHub repos, project pages, email groups, and corporate definitions, and then feeding all of that information to the assistant server as well. From there, the Ambient Assistant Server could serve the MeetingMate system as a web page accessible on an audience member's personal device, either a phone or a laptop. And so then the idea would be that in a meeting, we would have the content being presented over here, and then on a attendee's personal machine would be their view of the MeetingMate system. And so as the meeting is going on, the MeetingMate system would look for interesting content being presented on the slides, and where possible, would show relevant contextual information in the MeetingMate interface. This information was shown in the interface through a series of cards. And so I'll just describe a few of the types of cards here. So the first is acronyms and definitions. So if the MeetingMate system finds any jargon terms or acronyms, it'll define them in the MeetingMate interface. And to sort of give some background information about why this is necessary, we looked at the 300,000 slides that we had collected from the internet and found that on over 130,000 of those slides, there was at least one acronym. But then only 1.7% of those acronyms were defined within the slide deck where those were used. So if these were acronyms that you were not familiar with, in general, you would not find the definition for that acronym on those slides. Another type of card is an employee information card. And so this card will show information such as the employee's job title and location, and then additional information such as the projects they are working on and collaborators they frequently work with. And so we deployed this internally for a few meetings and found some interesting information, but there's still some significant hurdles to deploying a system like this for real. And so one thing that needs to be investigated more is the idea of acceptability. And so like I mentioned, we found all of this information on the internal intranet of the company. And so this is to say that everyone in the company has access to all of this information already. But it's important to look at how people actually feel about having this data mined and shared around the company. Even though everyone already has access to it, we're presenting it in a different way, in a much more easily accessible way. And so may be something that not everyone is comfortable with. And so that's it. Thank you.